Hi, you guys. How are you? It is Sunday, January 31st. I've been away for a couple days. My family's been sick. There's no COVID, thank goodness. It's just that gross winter crud. And now I think I'm coming down with it. So I was doing a reading. I didn't get through it. And I was like, you know what? I need to turn on the camera for these guys because I think this is going to be good. And it was about President Biden because I've had this vision of him that has been very persistent for a couple days. And I wonder if it also relates to this quote because what day is it? Yesterday, or maybe it was earlier today, I can't remember. I was watching the replay of the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. It was the January 29th show. And what he did was that show, it's a really funny, long title for his show on what he named it. It is so worth checking out. I loved this episode because what he put together were all of his favorite episodes or moments with Biden and also Kamala. But I think Joe Biden and his wife, they've been on a show, I think like 14 times. It was really, really, really funny. It was so great. But one thing that they talked about, President Biden said that Dr. Jill writes him notes and she will tape them on the mirror in the bathroom. And the one that she had was Faith Sees Best in the Dark by Kierkegaard. And I just loved that. I loved it so much. It was a very powerful episode that they had. So this vision I've had of President Biden, I would say this has been really persistent the last 3 or 4 days. But today, Saturday, I've been running around doing stuff. I can't get it out of my mind. So finally I had some time to sit down and I was like, what is this about? And I just wanted to sit and meditate on it, but I couldn't because the vision that I have on him is that he is standing so straight. His gaze and his views, his eyes are fixed on a target. He hardly blinks. He doesn't look tense. He doesn't look nervous. He is just sitting and watching something that nothing can take his attention away from it. His eyes, they don't even move back and forth. He has such a laser focus on whatever he's looking at and just staring. But him being a Scorpio, I know that there's so much beneath the surface with that intensity. But it's calm, but clear. So I had to get my cards. I've only seen part of this layout. Actually, it's just not even. I've seen part of it. I haven't seen all of it, and that's when it was getting really interesting. And I wanted to share this with you. So I wanted to know, what is it that he is staring at so persistently? And this was the card. I mean, look at the gaze of him there, the King of Wands, the King of Rods, the King of Wands, just staring, assessing, looking at something. And so I wanted to know, what is he looking at? I mean, just look at that. I mean, the eyes are so fixed. There's my yes card. Yes. Yes. staring at it. The Three of Cups. The people who were planning. This card was showing up for me last week, especially with Mike Flynn. Like the point people for what happened. This Three of Cups, they're kind of like hiding behind this brilliant flower. And it just reminds me of this beautiful, stunning day, the stunning capital. But yet on the ground, cheers, something was happening. Yes, yes, yes. He's still staring at this. So I wanted the clarifiers. Who does this represent? What does this represent? And what does this represent? There's the no card. No what? No High Priestess. No Russia. There's several meanings going on here. Like he knows this is the Russia influence. He's also saying no more. He also sees this one trying to dispose of evidence related to the Russia. This one, this middle one, we have the Six of Pentacles. The money that was used to pay for the event outside the Capitol when they were at the ellipse and then going to the Capitol. The money. This one with the Three of Cups, the King of Cups reversed. He is staring and watching this, knowing that this whole thing, he was elected as president. And the extent they went to try to turn over his election, his presidency. And the feelings I was getting about this, he is so persistent, almost not judgmental. I could, over time, starting to feel a lot of fury. So much anger with Russia. So much. Like really trying to withhold and keep his emotions in check to not act out, but to gauge and assess this whole thing as objectively as possible. This, I think, really bothers him because he knows he was duly elected, but the fact that we are at this place that such extremists would do this, there is pain here because he's so compassionate. Why would you do that? It's so offensive. So that's what he's staring at. So then my next question was, what do you see? Oh, this is on the bottom. So the Five of Wands, is usually fighting. But this is a takeover. This is where you're just dropping any sense of decorum or rules and you're just charging forth. It's a melee. We have the King of Pentacles reversed, candidate Donald who lost. So what are the three things that he sees? The Seven of Wands, the fighting back. While he's staring at this, he is keeping in mind the fight that our Capitol Police put up. They fought as hard as they could to protect. We have the Ten of Wands reversed. That is them not being able to contain the burden. It is also the burden of knowing that the defense, the army, what it took to get them to bring in the National Guard finally. What a total failure that was. That it caused things to break down so badly. And that the Army, our defense, actually agreed. Our defense decided to let that happen. So as he's staring at all this and watching all the pieces, he's also knowing all of this that happened in the background. And he's so mad. But he's contained. He's really like separated that strong emotion from all these pieces. And it's like with every passing day, things get clearer and clearer and become that much more in focus. And so then I could feel like he's looking at this, but it was like I could almost feel like something coming up and swooping over. Almost like a Scorpio, a scorpion is looking at something, and it almost feels like how the impulse as their body gets ready to lift up the tail and strike. I could just feel like these plans coming along. So this is how I started laying out the cards. Wait a minute. Which one did I see? I saw one of them. Okay, this was the one I saw. So then it went, so if you want to think of it kind of like that, these are the plans that are happening. And that this is how they were laid out. And then I was like, and then I just could feel the cards just strike, 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 strike. So we have a plan here now. The Six of Swords, transmitting intelligence and information on the ground here, and with our agencies, and even with our allies and all the intercepts abroad, because there's so much. The people who did this had their devices. There's so much data in how the apps connect with one another, and there's so much more networking that's available through the apps and through the cloud that they can. This is a bunch of information. There is so much information that they have, not only of this event, but everything they can probably trace back in social media going back a decade. And every other probably event or network that they had, maybe when they showed up for other protests or counter protests. And the networks that they have with groups abroad. This is a massive, massive, I mean, the FBI says that they have 150,000 images that they're looking at. That's just images in that moment. We now have an unimaginable amount of data and information there. I know that they're combing through to get the big picture, because we know this is white ISIS. We know that this is how they radicalized ISIS. They are radicalizing the United States. There's your Six of Swords. And this is when I was like, I have to get this camera rolling. So these are all plans. Data, the Queen of Pentacles. Transmitting data, oligarchs, PAC money. That thing that came out today with the heiress to the public store gave $300,000 or $500,000 for the Ellipse event. Got a plan about the Empress, the Rusher, transnational, trying to fill Russia up, and the agreements. There's Donald. Ready to go? All the fools that were involved. This isn't just Donald. He is the point person because he incited it. But the many, many fools in government as well. That's a tower. That is a big, huge strike. So it's like the way I was feeling this was like this, like the tail was coming up with plan, 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 and then strike. So here we have all this information. This is also Mars. This is not only what happened, but I think this is, notice this is also crowning him in a way. The thoughts and the ideas and the plan that's coming to be. The Nine of Wands, holding our defenses, holding it, hold, reinforcing our defenses, looking at every single angle, not only within DC, not only with our states and our capitals, but those networks again that go beyond our sovereign boundaries. Data, planning, unraveling all the information that they have and getting ready to put something together with the best experts on the planet. And here we go, strike. Striking that Three of Cups has the Seven of Pentacles. I almost want to say that this, I feel like this is lobbing bombs. I don't know if they're actual bombs, but there's, maybe they are bombs. I'm now just seeing things being dropped out of the air like in World War II bombers. This is the strike. Whatever is coming out, this is the thing, is a reason why. This is number one strike. And then the supporting actors who did that, the Russia, the Nine of Pentacles, the oligarchs, the wealthy people who did this, and the businesses and the companies. The wealth, the PACs, these are people here in the U.S., abroad as well, but especially those who worked with Russia and money. That's a strike. The second one, the Four of Cups, the offers that were made. These people who took that money, paid out, and they just waited for the signal to go. However that mechanism was set up, that's going to get hit hard very well. This is the organizing on the ground with their leaders and their plans. And the third strike, trying to overturn his election. We have the Knight of Cups. That's usually Donald making an offer to someone. The Knight of Cups, here's the King of Cups. You can look at this in several ways. He is not going to be nice to Donald. Donald is not getting an offer. Donald is getting cut out. He's done. But it's also like the Knight of Cups showing allegiance to the King of Cups, Putin, and Donald's failure to fulfill the goal of also overturning the election. This is a lot of failure. It's also no mercy. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Oh, I just felt like there was something down here on the ground. What's going on the ground here? On the ground, beneath their feet, at the basis of this, we have, this was the coup. They're going to address the coup. This wasn't, they are terming it a coup. The insurrection, trying to incite the insurrection as a coup on the U.S. government. These are things on the ground. Things that were manipulated on the ground related to security, people. Oh my gosh, Bill Barr just came to my mind because, remember, he resigned early. Well, he did that in effect to leave things that much more vulnerable. There were changes that he made. The Ten of Swords, because they knew they were totally done. And the deaths that have resulted, there has to be consequences and payback for that. There's more deaths. I'm getting that there's more deaths that we don't know about related to this stuff, maybe overseas. The suicides. And we have, there's the China and the MAGAs. So how Russia, China, North Korea also conspired with the white supremacy nationalists here. The MAGAs, the P-Boys, the Oath People, the Three Purse, all of that. This is what's on the ground. This is the strategy, how they're going to strike it. But what's anchoring it all with the priorities are the people who did this. So that's that. Have a great day, you guys. Maybe I'll uncover more. Stay safe, stay healthy, and enjoy. Bye.